Tide. No, not your favorite detergent, but something much more terrifying. Because keeping your white squeaky clean now means making sure terrorists, or suspected ones, or people suspected of being friends with suspected ones, are on a list. Tide stands for Terrorist Identities Datamart Environment. Ah yes, the Datamart, your one-stop shop for all things terrorist-related.
All well lighted for selection.
The list is lovingly tended to by the National Counterterrorism Center, and even more specifically, by a super-secret unit called the Directorate of Terrorist Identities. Oh, Orwell, you novice. According to classified documents that The Intercept got its hands on, 1 million people, including about 15,800 Americans, are caught up in Tide. What does that mean? Well, Tide feeds into various watch lists, including the terrorist screening database, which in turn feeds into a no-fly list and a selectee list. When you're on the aptly named selectee list, you get even more screening at the airport. Joke's on them though, cause you stopped wearing underwear 5 months ago. Tide also feeds into watch lists for the State Department, Homeland Security, and the FBI. You too could be an anemone in the Tide pool, which is actually checked by police and some employers. That means you could get arrested or lose a job opportunity if you're on Tide. So what might Uncle Sam have on you? Well, for 144,000 people of the 1 million on the list, the government's got facial images, iris scans, fingerprints, DNA strands, and other stuff even stalkers don't want. Basically, Big Brother's patting people down without them knowing it. They get this stuff from driver's licenses, handwriting samples, and even from your friendly local law enforcement. If you're thinking, well, I'm not a terrorist, so what do I care? Consider this. You can get looped into Tide for posting something deemed suspicious on Facebook or Twitter. Looks like you should have avoided that flame war about Guardians of the Galaxy. You can also get on it if you happen to know someone who's a little terroristy. Or you might just be unlucky. Like if you live in Dearborn, Michigan, population 96,000, which somehow has the second biggest concentration in the US of people on the list. Surely that has nothing to do with the town having the largest percentage of Arab Americans in the country. No. Other big cities for Tide: New York, Houston, San Diego, and Chicago. 900 records get added to Tide every single day. And Obama has become the no-fly lister-in-chief by increasing that list tenfold to 47,000 people, surpassing terror fighter extraordinaire W. But here's a question. Does it even work? As Edward Snowden pointed out, we're just making the haystack bigger and bigger in a hunt for a few needles. Not to mention, the only thing going out with this Tide could be our civil liberties.